All right, welcome back to the last project in the January 2021 Coco and Crafts class. Today we are going to make this card here. It is pretty simple on the top. There's actually only 2 layers as far as there's not a lot of stuff glued on here, but it's a really fun sponging technique we're going to do. So in your kit, you do have a sponge that looks like this. This is actually half of one of the 3 sponges that come in our Stampin' Up! Sponge package. And you have an option. You can either cut it in half or cut it into thirds. So you can either cut it or just cut it straight in half. Whichever way you want to do. If you cut it in thirds, you'll have an extra one for another color. Mine are cut in thirds, and you can see, and I have used one of our old tab punches to punch out a piece of matching cardstock, and I just stapled it to the top, and that gives me a handle, and it also helps me know what color I have used this sponge with before. So you don't, because you don't want to mix it up very much. Some red, some darker colors, it's okay if you get them mixed, but definitely, like, if you've used one of these for yellow, you would never know it until you stick it in a red, and then you start getting orange when you're stamping. So it is a good idea to somehow, I used to use a Sharpie pen and write the color on it. So totally up to you. That's just an option, just some ideas for you with your sponge. So we're going to get started. Let me move this one out of the way. Our inks, I'm going to go ahead and open up. And I am going to pull out the stuff from our kit. You will find you have an unusual item in this kit, and that is a piece of Post-it note paper. You actually have a couple of them there, several. I didn't have any 5x6 or 3x4, 5x6 Post-it note pads, which would be this way, and the sticky would have been across here. So this is what you got, because this is what I had. We're gonna set that aside, and we'll need to do our envelopes, and we will need this. So we're gonna start with, you actually have 4. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 of them obviously are for the inside of the card, and we can set those aside. We don't need them just yet. 2 of them are for the outside. Now we can only work on one of these at a time, so I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. And let me do a quick measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squares. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to set my card here, and I'm going to kind of look over. How many over was it? 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right here. So I'm setting my card like that, and then I'm going to take this, and it has Post-it note sticky on it on the top, and these aren't quite long enough to go all the way across, which is why I gave you some extras. Oh wait, yeah, see, they're not quite long enough. I'm going to attempt to go from the 3rd line to, it's not straight, this one down here. There we go. And I'm going to have to get another one out. Actually, you know what I should have done, and this would have made it much easier. Hold on. Let's do that. We're going to make us a really long one just by sticking 2 together. Make sure you line the top up really well. And now I can easily go from the top and go down to the bottom. There we go. So you're going to make sure you're going up all the way across, from line to line all the way up. And now I want to do the same thing with these 2. And go along. This will be easier because I'm just going to go along that dark line. It makes it easier to see. And basically what we're doing is we're masking off a section of our card base, our card front. Okay, there we go. So that's ready to go. So now we're going to start sponging, and I'm going to dip it in. Now I prefer when I'm sponging, especially if you have a brand new ink pad, there's a lot of ink on some of these. Now on this one, I don't know if you can see, it's a little lighter color here in the middle. That's telling me I need to re-ink this pretty soon. It's starting to get dry. Now the darker ones you really can't tell, although I can kind of see that it's a little bit lighter there in the center. But your ink pads are going to be brand new, then they're going to be very inky. So when I sponge with this, I'm going to sponge off here a few times first so that the main amount of ink goes here, and then you end up with a softer effect when you're stamping, when you're sponging onto your card. Now what I want to do, if you can see here, I'm going to start with this, the Pear Pizzazz at the top, and I'm going to go about 2/3 of the way down the card with that Pear Pizzazz, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the Peacock, starting at the bottom and working my way up, probably only about halfway up, maybe a little further depending on how far I want it to go. But we'll see. So I'm going to start sponging. And I'm just going to keep, and again, because mine is starting to dry, I probably need to get my re-inkers out and re-ink this. Oh, I didn't tap that one off, and you see it's a little bit darker there. Now, in the new catalog, there are actually some blending brushes, which will give you a softer effect than this. But the sponges are what we've had for years and years and years, and they do work really well. But I have had a chance to try the brushes, and I like them. I like them a lot. So there's our Pear Pizzazz, and I may have gone a little too far, but you know what? This color is so dark, it's not even gonna, you're not even gonna know. Also beware, if, especially with the darker colors, if you are pushing really hard on here, you're gonna end up with that color seeping through the sponge and onto your fingers. So just fair warning. I'm just going to work your way up as high as you want that darker color to go, but so that the two colors blend together in where they meet. Okay, and there is that. And guess what? Actually, I gotta leave that on because we're going to do some stamping right now. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get this one here. I'm using this foliage and one of the two small ones. Actually, both of the two small ones. I need to grab one of the other ones out really quick. Got it. I'm going to grab this block and get that one. Okay, so I want to start with my darker, larger piece first. Eventually, I'm going to put one of the darker ones going to go right here. But first, I'm going to put one right about there, coming down, and then I'm going to do a small one right here. Okay, so that part's finished. Now I'm going to do the, let's see, this one faces this direction. I think I'll do here with it, and then I'm going to grab this one, which goes in a different direction. I'm going to go up here. And then I think I'll put a third one maybe right down, maybe even have it go down this direction like that. Okay, so now comes the fun part. I love this part. I love it. You're going to take this, you're going to peel back, and look at that beautiful line. I love it. Okay, now we're going to do this one. Oops, I want them both to come together because we want to reuse this on the next card. So, ta-da! There is that. So now remember I said we were going to put one of these, a darker one, extending beyond our sponged frame like that. Isn't that pretty? I love it. Okay, so then we're going to use the sentiment. You can do this. And actually I think any of the sentiments would work really well, like the Love and Laughter Forever After, the Hello. This one would even work in this corner, but we're going to do the You Can Do This. And I actually have, my older daughter is in college right now getting herself a teacher's degree, and so I think one of mine is going to go to her as just in a little encouragement card to say, you can do it. Now, if you remember last week, with the last class we did, I want to stamp my word on this paper, what I think is straight, and it is just slightly lower on the side than this side. So when I stamp, let me try it again. This time I'll lift just ever so slightly. Oh, I lifted too far. There we go. Okay, that just helps me know. So hopefully I can get this stamped pretty straight. Otherwise, I did! Yay! Otherwise, the Stamparatus is great for getting your words nice and straight because you can line it up perfectly. It has grid lines to work with your letters. It's great, but it's not close to hand at the moment. It's at my other crafty space, so we just have to eyeball it. Oh, wow, my hands are getting, see, I told you, you start getting color on your fingers. All right, so set that one aside and we're gonna do another one. And just like we said, actually I have some guide here. We're gonna go 8 over on there. I'm gonna lay this down from line to line. And I like that it extends off the sides because it's gonna help hold our paper still too. What I don't like is that the way I'm spinning my sponge around, I keep lifting this one up. So I think I may grab real quick just a piece of tape to hold that down so it doesn't lift up anymore. Okay, so same thing we did on the last one. Move those. Start with our Pear Pizzazz. Dab it off. Sponge it down. Just spin it around. And actually, I'm going to do this one just a little bit different. And then rather than going straight down, I'm going to kind of angle so there's more Pear Pizzazz here and there's going to be more of the teal coming up this, or the peacock coming up this way. Just to show you, you can, you don't have to do things exactly the way they came in the kit, okay? Don't have to follow my samples exactly. There we go. So let's try our peacock. We're going to some color on here. And of course, the harder you push, the more times you go over the area, the darker the area is going to get. I think I want a little more Pear Pizzazz coming down. Oh, can you see where I didn't dab off first? There we go. Okay. Colors are there it is. There it is. Looking for my foliage. Okay, so this one, let's go. I'm gonna go a little bit higher on it this time. Oh, and I did not push hard enough. Can you see that? Partially that. Okay, can you see where the leaf didn't go all the way to the edge? That is my fault. That's because I added this extra piece of tape here. It lifted up higher. I would have needed to push harder, but now it's too late. There's nothing I can do to fix that. I'm just going to leave that as is. So down here at the bottom, I actually probably did this a little too low. I hope you guys can see everything on the screen. Alright, set that one aside, and let's do our Pear Pizzazz flower, leaves, whatever you want to call them. Actually, I'm going to do this one this way. And then I'll do this one. Oh, I just inked my workspace, my table. There we go. Clean that up before it stains. Actually, I don't think this would stain, but it might. I'm not going to take a chance. All right, and put some there. There we go. Okay. Okay, here we go. The fun part. You ready? Oh, that's all right. If it lifted, I don't need them together anymore. So, there's one. And there's the other one. So, set those. I don't need them anymore. Now I'm going to ink, this is my darker color, ink up my leaves and have them coming out the side, and then words. You can do this. Oh, it's going downhill. That's okay. It's all good. It's a handmade card. All right. So our stamping is finished, and really, oh wait, no, it's not finished. We gotta do the inside of the card, and we're gonna do the envelope flaps, or the envelopes as well. So, oh my, how did I get so much color on this hand and not on the one that was holding the sponge? Oh, from holding the paper. That's why, because I was holding the paper down. Oh, all right, envelope flap is on this side. Turn it to this side. I'm thinking I might need to wipe off my fingers if I can. Let's see. Well, it's not coming off on the paper, so I'm okay. I want to do a little bit of sponging on the very edge. I'm going to do pear pizzazz up here and peacock down here. I have a green thumb. Okay, let's just do a little bit of color. Let me grab this one, do the same thing. And then the peacock. I'm going from the bottom up. Oh, wrong one! I did that in one of the other classes too, didn't I? Okay, there's that part. And now let's just stamp a little, one of the little leaves in our pear pizzazz in the bottom corner here. The bottom corner here. And grab those two other rectangles that we have and put one in each corner of those. And if you wanted, you could even put one in the opposite corner here like that. That would be cute too. Okay, so clean that up a little. Close these up before I start moving a bunch of paper and end up inking more than my fingers. There we go. I'm going to set these aside. And that one. And start adhering. So, flip those over. I have to remember, don't tick it to one side or the other, or you push it off the edge. There we go. Oh, I didn't fold my card bases. I always like to do that first. I don't know why. Come here, bone folder. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Line up in the corner. Okay. Inside. Line up 3 sides. And adhere down. And same thing on this one. Wow, my fingers are green. This is how they usually look when I'm working on cakes though, because I almost always end up with food color on my hands when I'm dyeing my fondant or my candy clay. Although I did finally get myself some really nice rubber gloves that I can actually work with that don't feel like they're going to fall off my fingers, so I do use those now more often than not. So, okay, we're going to grab this, flip them over. One, two, three. I think I'm getting close to the end. That's okay, I have a backup ready and waiting. There we go. Woo, I made it. And flip that over. Line up the 3 sides. Try not to smear the color anymore with my messy fingers. There we go. guess what, ladies? We are done. We have finished. Where are they at? There they are. Looking for my envelopes. Oh, I'm thinking I'm going to have to replace that paper today. There is our final project for the January Coco and Crafts class. I hope you guys enjoyed these projects. I hope you enjoy learning some new techniques. I hope you are learning something new when we're doing the classes. And I hope you're having a good time with it. So, please comment on my video. Let me know how I'm doing with these, and let me know if you have suggestions of stamp sets you would like me to do classes with in the future. So until next month's first Coco and Crafts project, I wish you God's love and blessings and hope you have an awesome week. Bye!